this press conference with a thank you to John Fox.
But they are who we thought they were, and we let them off the hook.
What are we talking about? Practice? We're talking about practice, man.
Hello? You play to win the game. You don't play to just play it.
Come after me! I'm a man! I'm 40!
You're listening to Rochester, Indiana's #1 podcast, the Tan and J-Man Show, featuring Josh Munt and Tanner Lee.
Welcome back for another episode of Rochester's #1 sports podcast, the Tan and J-Man Show. Episode 90, to be in fact. 90 episodes.
It's a round number.
10 away from a big one.
What are we going to do for 100?
We need to start brainstorming that.
Yeah.
I got a couple ideas, which is scary. Tanner having ideas.
That is scary.
It's scary.
It's like a light bulb goes off. It's just mainly a puff of dust.
Yeah, you're not wrong. But yes, episode 90 coming at you. Like us on Facebook if you haven't already. Follow us on Twitter at Tan and J-Man Show. On Instagram at The Tan and J-Man Show. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. We do have another new subscriber. We had one last week. So
nice.
All of our podcasts are on there as well. And our website, thetannandjmanshow.com. And as always, this week's episode is brought to you by Fraunfelder Dental Clinic, a great family-owned dental clinic that offers laser whitening and dentistry, along with braces, implants, and your typical teeth cleanings. Go see Dr. Bill Fraunfelder or Dr. DJ Fraunfelder today for all of your dental needs. Like them on Facebook and check out their website, stateoftheartsmile.com. And I think some Birdie Bogey followed you in the door.
It always falls me in the door.
Just can't outrun it.
So, Maximilian Scherzer recorded his 76th career 10 strikeout game, which is the most among active pitchers. Who has the second most career 10 strikeout games? Scherzer has 76 of them, as I said. The guy who's second has 63. Who is second?
That's a pretty good question.
Yeah.
Glad I got a
You can name
podcast to think about that.
second, third, and fourth, because I have those down too. If you
Okay.
want to...
All right. I'll put my thinking cap on.
You have one of those, huh?
Sometimes. Selective thinking cap. And this week's Birdie Bogey segment, as always, is brought to you by Noble Gnome. It's a local fresh market garden located in Mentone, Indiana.
What do they grow?
Well, they grow all kinds of stuff. They've been active at the Warsaw Farmers Market the past few weekends. I mean, lettuce, radishes. Did you know there's such thing as a watermelon radish? Or I think it's called a melon radish.
Really?
Yeah, it looks like a slice of watermelon. Those have been really popular. They've been selling.
Does it taste like
Asparagus. I doubt it. I don't know. But asparagus.
I
know there's certain ways
question.
ways to prepare them and cook them, but Bryce knows all about it. So, yes, Noble Gnome LLC on Facebook and on Instagram, owned by my cousin Bryce Romine and his wife Katie Romine. So,
Yes.
really cool. Go check it out. It's just going to continue to grow, and we are happy to have them on board sponsoring Birdie Bogey. So,
Sir.
all right, we got plenty to talk about tonight. Some good positive news, some bad negative news. Just some.
What do you want to start with? You want to start with the positive or the negative?
I wanted to start with the negative. In the kind of one of the bigger sports stories going on right now, Urban Meyer looks like he's in a little bit of trouble at the Ohio State University. Kind of want to explain the situation to everybody who doesn't really know what's going on.
So, I haven't really followed it that much.
I'll help you out.
Yeah, if I'm wrong. So Zach Smith, who was a wide receivers coach, is accused of beating his wife?
Yes, back in 2015.
And Zach's wife went to Urban's wife and told her, and Urban's wife told Urban.
Well, that's the part that's up in the air.
Okay.
Because according to Courtney Smith, and there's proven text messages and stuff, she told Urban's wife all the coaches' wives knew about it. Nobody said anything. And Urban's wife constantly said she was going to tell Urban. Now, if she did or not, that's kind of up in the air. But Urban Meyer, a few weeks ago at the Big Ten Media Days, even admitted him and his wife talk about everything. So you got to think she probably told him.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
But he also said at Big Ten Media Days he didn't know anything about the situation. Straight out lied about that. Mm-hmm. He knew. He knew back in, 2015, if indeed she told him.
Yeah.
But Ohio State now came out yesterday. They're going to wrap this thing up in the next 14 days. So a decision's got to be made. Right now, Urban is on paid administrative leave. And they have an interim coach, Ryan Day. I hope that's the right name.
Sounds right.
I don't know. I know it's not Kevin Wilson or Greg Schiano because the media would have got all over them if they would have done that with the past of those two guys. But prediction of what happens to Urban. In your opinion, what should happen and what will happen to Meyer?
Honestly, he probably, because he covered it up. I mean, there's no doubt.
It's in his contract that if he knows anything of any battery situation, he has to report it to.
There's no doubt in my mind that he knew about it and that he covered it up.
Look at his track record of Florida. He had, 15 guys arrested, and they barely any of them got punished, including a guy who ended up murdering somebody.
Yeah.
Aaron Hernandez.
All he cares about is winning. And
winning at all costs.
At all costs. And it's not like there isn't a multitude of young, hungry coaches that want to come work for Urban Meyer where he could have just fired Zach.
A wide receiver coach can be replaced so easily.
Yeah, I mean,
easily.
It would have been so easy to find a replacement. As for punishment, I think he needs – honestly, he should probably be fired if it's in his contract that he needs to report something like that. I think worst case for him, best case for everyone else is he's suspended with pay for the whole year. But in reality, he's won way too much for them to really do anything substantial to him. So I think it'll be somewhere like a 2 or 4 game suspension, but he'll try to fight it, and it'll be cut in half, and he'll be suspended maybe a game or 2. That's kind of what I'm thinking.
You know, I was kind of thinking the same thing. I will be shocked if he gets fired, but I will not be shocked if he gets suspended, say, for the non-conference games.
Yeah.
3 or 4 of those, how many they play, which I don't think they're non-conferences all that hard. But I will be very surprised if he does get fired. But you look back to Jim Tressel. You remember he got fired, and he was, everybody's.
It was something for a lot less than this.
Record. Jim Tressel was 94-22 at Ohio State, and they fired him.
Yeah.
Including winning the national championship, and that was for what? Not reporting some paid tattoos and jewelry and such. So I don't know. This is gonna be interesting to watch. But I'm gonna make a very, very bold prediction. It's probably even going to happen because, like I said, I don't think Urban's going to get fired anyways, even if he deserves to. But I'm making this prediction on August 6th, 2018. Now, I want credit for this if it happens. If Urban Meyer gets fired, the head coach next season for 2019 of the Ohio State Buckeyes will be Bob Stoops.
Bobby Stoops. You've been saying that really since this came out.
Yeah, I just have a weird feeling.
I
think Big Game Bob's going to get back into it eventually. I don't think he's done
Big
forever.
Game Bob sure didn't win a whole lot of big games,
That's
did
what's
he?
funny. Like, he always choked in the big game, besides one national championship with Heupel behind center.
Josh Heupel.
But, I don't know. It's going to be interesting to keep an eye on. I know we were kind of talking about the other day. The Big Ten has had some pretty negative storylines as a conference the past few years. I mean, you had the whole mess with Penn State. You had Michigan State, that mess. You had another mess at Ohio State with the wrestling program not too long ago, and then this. I mean, it's one thing after another.
Yeah.
I mean,
and then you have kind of the smaller, like, player abuse with Kevin Wilson and Tim Beckman.
Yeah.
Those kind of
I forgot
scandals.
about Beckman's.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting.
The difference between Tim Beckman and Urban Meyer is Urban has won a whole lot, and Tim did not, so it made it a whole lot easier to fire him, unfortunately.
Beckman has those Ohio State connections.
Yeah, maybe. Tim Beckman for Ohio State. You can book that one right now.
Can I start a hashtag Hazel for Ohio State?
Hazel can be the wide receivers coach. Timmy is running that ship.
Hazel's actually still a wide receiver coach for the Minnesota Vikings. Is Beckman anywhere? No. Okay.
I don't know what he's doing.
Is Cubitt anywhere?
Cubitt is at a high school.
Is he? I knew Zucker's on the Green Bay staff.
Yeah.
Special teams.
Cubitt was like Dartmouth's offensive coordinator, but then he is I think he's a high school coach. I mean, he's 65, so he's still
I was just curious. Yeah. Hadn't heard anything about him, but
that was just a terrible.
College football is right around the corner. It starts actually. The season starts 3 weeks from this Thursday.
No.
My Purdue Boilermakers will be playing that night at 8 o'clock on ESPN against the Northwestern Wildcats. Purdue's, as of right now, 3-point favorite
That's fair.
It should be a fun game.
It's pretty even, but the home team usually gets 2 or 3 points.
Both teams coming off a bowl win. Both teams coming off quarterback injuries. Not sure if Clayton Thorson's going to be good to go or not. They wouldn't give up much up at me today, but why would you?
Yeah.
I mean, that's smart not to give that up. But it looks like I think from everything I've been reading on the Purdue site, Elijah Sindelar is beating out David Blauza right now. That's who I want to see win the competition anyways. I think he just brings a little more to the table from a quarterback standpoint than David does. Both of them were actually voted captains last week. I think Purdue had 7 or 8 captains. They were both voted captain. And I just don't want to see any injuries right now in Purdue camp. I know Markel Jones banged up his wrist today. Taria Fuller got kind of banged up. And it doesn't look like Richie Worship probably won't play at all this year coming off the ACL. So running back's already taking kind of a hit. But the positive things I read every day is Rondell Moore and Jared Sparks are just balling out. And they really need that out of those guys, especially Sparks. He needs to kind of make himself as a number 1 wide receiver threat on the outside, and they need to fill that void from Anthony Mahungu, who I just read today is up to taking second-team snaps with the Philadelphia Eagles. So, in an ex-Purdue football news, Ricardo Allen got a 3-year, $20 million deal for the Atlanta Falcons. So, thought I'd mention that while I was mentioning Purdue football a little bit. But, college football's right around the corner, and we'll have our preview, college football preview podcast. It'll be on Facebook Live 3 weeks from tonight at 7 o'clock. So that's August, what was today? The 6th. So that's August 27th. We'll be doing that. So hopefully you can tune in there. College game day is at Notre Dame. They announced in South Bend. Notre Dame's rekindling the fire of their rivalry, at least for a couple of years, with Michigan. So that's the opener. I saw they're going to do a green out because the Masters champ Patrick Reed wants to go to that game. Brian Kelly invited him. Says it's going to be a green out. Patrick Reed said, great, I'll bring my green jacket.
The two most overrated programs in college football over the past probably 15 years.
Yeah.
Neither have won a whole lot.
Well,
Michigan's had some good years early in that.
Well, I really want to agree with you. And I hate to say this because I hate Notre Dame. You know that. I would root for Notre Dame only over Indiana in football. Yeah. And they just never play. But Notre Dame was runner-up one year to Alabama. They made a national championship.
I did kind of forget that because they got just torched. Yep. And it was kind of overshadowed by Manti Te'o's.
Oh, and I go back, and you have to have a bit of luck on your side that season. Notre Dame fans are going to hate me for this segment, by the way. But
I love it.
I mean, they should have lost to Pittsburgh. You remember the kid missed like a 30-yard field goal?
Should have lost to Stanford.
Stanford, they called a progression dead at the goal line. Could have lost to Purdue that year.
I don't remember that.
Purdue lost by a field goal up there.
The Tommy Rees snapped it late.
And then the Everett Golston lost the football going at the pylon. Like, out of his hands hit the pylon. Should have been a touchback, but they called it a touchdown. Yeah. So, ifs, buts, what's. Yeah.
Ifs and buts were candy and nuts.
It'd be Christmas all the time. Yeah. But, I'm looking forward to college football season. And pro football is underway. We had the Hall of Fame game.
Not.
It will be, I guess, preseason this week. I mean, if you want to call it the Hall of Fame game.
I'm not. Preseason's not pro football.
It gives you football, though, on TV to watch. That's what I'm saying. It started. It's something besides training camp.
Is it really football, though?
Yes.
It's not football.
It's football. Fine. Spring training's not baseball.
That's fine with me.
It's baseball.
That's
Jack
fine with me.
It is, too.
No, it's not.
They're out there playing the sport. Yeah. It is happening.
I do watch spring training baseball. I do not watch preseason football.
I am going to watch preseason football.
I might watch the Dolphins on Thursday because Cubs aren't on.
Yeah.
I'll be bored.
Yeah, the Broncos start against the Vikings, and they're on the NFL Network at 9 o'clock on Saturday. And I'm going to be doing the post-game podcast for Orange Weekly, even starting after this game this weekend, so I need to watch those.
Tanner's getting all famous on us. He's going to forget us here soon.
And I'm actually, for anybody who's curious, I also doing a Wednesday night show on Facebook Live with Orange Weekly every Wednesday called Good, Bad, and Ugly. Starts this Wednesday night, pretty late for Eastern time zone. It's 9 to 9:30. Eastern time. So
7 to 7:30.
So if you want to see my ugly mug on Facebook this Wednesday night, 9 to 9:30. Not really sure what we're going to talk about since it hadn't even started yet, but Kevin, the guy who hosted, he'll just lead, and I'll pick up where it is. But I will be doing a post-game podcast by myself, maybe with a couple of guests sprinkled in here and there during the season. So looking forward to that. Should be fun. I don't have a lot to report from Broncos training camp. the thing on no injuries so far, at least no serious injuries so far, knock on wood. Case Keenum's getting praised every day on Twitter, and as is second-round rookie Cortland Sutton from SMU.
I like Case Keenum. Do you think he's getting just this ton of praise because he's really playing well, or because the quarterbacks were so trash last year?
I think he's protecting the ball, so if he doesn't throw picks, you're probably going to get praise, and even though it's just training camp. And he's just so much of a step up compared to Simeon, Osweiler, and Lynch. It looks like he's really
probably
good,
a little bit of both.
I think you're exactly right. It's just
it's kind of funny.
It's just refreshing to hear a guy talk in an interview that just has a grasp of the situation, knows he's the guy, ready to go, and it seems like the players like him a lot more than the other guys. So I'm excited for the season. Saturday night will bring some interesting matchups with Keenum going against his former team in Minnesota, which he'll only play about a series, but also Minnesota's new backup Trevor Siemian going against the Broncos. Their third string Kyle Sloter was a Bronco in the preseason last year, so I don't know, those will be some interesting little matchups, but it is what it is. I'm not going to talk too much more about it. So
thank God.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So, let's move right on. Let's move on to some baseball. Cubs.
Yeah.
I don't know what else there is to say besides what you've been saying on Twitter, but you made the trip up to Wrigley on Saturday. So,
did.
How was it?
That was fun. It was hot.
First time you've been up there in a little while, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's the first time since 2016. For whatever reason, I didn't get up there last year. It's changed a bunch. See, I haven't been there since they put that brand new thing. I mean, you were there last year.
I was. I was up there. I was on a rooftop, though.
They put that brand new, park thing outside and tore the McDonald's down. It's really nice. It doesn't even feel like Wrigleyville anymore, besides the tons of people. But it was fun. I saw some pretty good baseball. Cubs won. Kyle Schwarber and Rizzo both hit just absolute bombs.
Most interesting jersey you saw? Did you see any just weird ones? I always like to look at that for that, during sporting events, so I can see any just weird ones.
It was so weird, but I saw a JT Snow Giants jersey.
That was awesome.
Some guy was wearing a JT Snow Giants jersey. It was so weird. Yeah. But I saw Steve Garvey. Cubs. I mean,
no, Mike Rimlinger.
No, nothing like that. I mean,
I doubt Mike Rimlinger's parents own their Mike Rimlinger jersey.
Yeah, that's about it. I mean, you see the usual Ryan Sandberg's.
Sure, but I didn't know if you saw any Glen Ellen Hill. Or
I didn't really.
Fukudome even, that's a neat one, I think.
I didn't really even look. Yeah. See, with baseball, a lot of people don't wear jerseys; they wear shirts.
Yeah, that's true.
I didn't really notice any.
I always like doing that, at Bronco games. You see just a Bubby Brister, just something weird. It's wow.
Pretty sure my dad wore a Ronnie Brown jersey to the Dolphins game last year.
That's awesome.
He brought it with him anyway.
That's awesome. Anyways, go ahead. Sorry for interrupting.
They're not playing well.
They're not.
I mean, they're playing okay. They're kind of. I mean, they went 500 this week, but they had a 4-game home set against the Padres, and they easily could have been swept. They're lucky they were playing the Padres, but they really need to win at least 3 of those games. And really it all comes down to they need to get healthy. Chris Bryant, they need him back in the worst way. Their offense just hasn't been very good without him. Brandon Morrow, need him back. It would just help lengthen the bullpen. You're not having to use Randy Rosario in a 1-run game in the 9th like they had to do yesterday, and it went from a 1-run game with the wind blowing out 100 miles an hour to a 5-run game in the span of an out. He recorded an out. He sucks. And then Darvish could be back here within the next few weeks. He felt really good after throwing a 55-pitch bullpen the other day. He said it was the best he's felt and most positive he's felt after throwing since he's been injured. So hopefully he can have one more really good bullpen and then go rehab for a week or two and be back hopefully starting the stretch run in September. So they need him back. Mike Montgomery has given up, I think it's 24 hits in his last 13 innings or something like that.
That's not ideal.
No, so he'd be moving to the bullpen, and that would help the bullpen too, just getting another guy like that. Cole Hamels made his debut this past week and was really good, and he pitches tonight against the Kansas City Royals. It will be hot in Kansas City, so you hope he pitches well. They really need to sweep this series in Kansas City. Kansas City, I think, is 40 games under 500.
They just won a World Series a couple years ago. Man, they took advantage of their window.
They did. It was a very short window, but they went to 2 World Series and won one of them. They really, really need to sweep, and this will be the J-Man's book it prediction of the week.
Dano, hold it a minute. I want to book this one.
They will sweep this series. I think playing so poorly against the Padres over the weekend kind of gave them a little bit of a wake-up call, and I think they'll go in there and sweep. They get the DH, which is nice. No more having to watch Jose Quintana try to hit. He looks like he's left-handed, but he's batting right-handed, so it hasn't gone well for him at the plate. And Cubs pitchers in general just don't hit very well. So it'd be nice having Schwarber in there at DH. He's DHing tonight, so it'll be nice.
Yeah, your Twitter's been something else as of late.
Yeah, I get ripped for my Twitter, and I don't think I've been.
I'm not ripping you.
I'm not saying you are, but people do. I haven't really been overly negative. If you guys remember last year, about every game I'd have about 15 tweets, and most of them be negative because they just didn't play very well until about right now. But this year I've kind of limited the tweets to about 5 or 6 a game. I was a little negative over the weekend because they need to beat teams like the Padres because they have a stretch coming up where they have to play the Brewers, Nationals twice. They have to go to Arizona, play the Cardinals again, to Pittsburgh for 4. So they need to really clean up on these teams they should beat and need to beat.
Did you get your book it right from last week?
The J-Man did. My book it was that the Cubs would make a trade for somebody, and they did. They traded for Brandon Kinsler,
all right,
relief pitcher from the Washington Nationals. Gets a ton of ground balls, throws strikes, good depth piece.
Well, you get a soundbite this week.
Yes, I needed another one. I needed to start another winning streak.
You're on one now. Just hopefully you can keep it up.
Yes.
So here's your little soundbite.
You know, Lloyd, just when I think you couldn't possibly be any dumber, you go and do something like this. And totally redeem yourself!
Yeah.
There you go. You were on me last week that I never played.
Totally redeemed myself.
Redeemed yourself.
Yes,
Can
sir.
you get back on track, get on a little run?
Likely not.
Yes.
I'll be pretty miserable if they were to even win a game, or if they were even to lose a game this week.
You got the Brewers right on you.
Yeah. Royals, and then Nationals are coming to town over the weekend, and they've been playing better baseball. Brewers are only a game out, and they have them for 2 next week. So.
The Rockies could have really helped the Cubs, and they can still help the Cubs.
But no, they had to go and just crap themselves.
Oh, they absolutely crapped themselves. I mean, they were lucky to hold on to an extra innings win yesterday, which besides that was a disastrous trip to Milwaukee.
Could have been even more disastrous had they ended up losing yesterday because they tried up 4-1 in the ninth and gave up 3.
That's a series
with 2 outs.
They should have swept that thing and pulled out one game.
Should have swept that thing. They got whooped on Saturday.
Yeah, that's true. They got behind quick. I should have took 2 or 3. I'm thinking about the game before against.
Who knows if Wade Davis doesn't.
St. Louis, the one. That's what I was thinking.
If Wade Davis doesn't,
they really could have helped. They're like Cubs' best friend right now.
Terrible. They're their worst friend right now. Their worst enemy.
Could be their best friend.
Could, but they aren't.
Maybe they'll sweep the Pirates tonight.
That'd be nice. If Wade Davis does not blow that save and give up a 3-run bomb with 2 outs in the ninth, maybe Saturday plays out differently. Who knows?
Yeah, and it's funny. You rip. I don't too much. Trevor Story away from Coors, and he had a pretty good weekend.
He had a good weekend. First good weekend away from Coors since his career started.
Yeah, but Nolan came through in the clutch yesterday, hitting a homer in extra innings to give him the lead and ultimately the victory over the Brew Crew. And
you know how happy I'd be if I just never had to talk about the Rockies ever.
I do it just to piss you off now. It's fun.
I know.
But, they got a series against Pittsburgh, and then they host Pittsburgh, and then they host the Dodgers this week.
So they could be pretty far out by the time
They definitely could. It's a big week for them. It's also a big week for the New York Yankees. They need a rebound after just about the worst series you can imagine against the Red Sox. Especially last night, they blew a 4-1 lead in the 9th inning, which they're pretty dominant when you got a lead that big. I don't know. It was just a bad week. They're really missing Aaron Judge big time in their lineup.
I didn't think they'd miss him this much.
Even missing Sanchez a little bit, but it's their pitching. The pitching just giving up way too many home runs. I'm interested to see how Lance Lynn does in the rotation tonight. They start a series against the Chicago White Sox. Really got to take advantage of that. Lance Lynn is replacing Sonny Gray. Sonny Gray got moved to the bullpen. I think that's the right move. He's just been trash. He gave up 6 runs in 2 innings to the AAA Baltimore Orioles last week. But they got to take advantage. I mean, tonight they have to win at least 2 or 3, at least, and then they host Texas. So you got to think this is a week they really need to bounce back too. Just kind of like you were saying, the Cubs have to take advantage because I mean, then next week Yankees not only host or go to Chicago, then host Texas. Next week they host the Mets in a game. Then they host the Rays.
That'll be all right.
And then they host the Blue Jays. So this is the time to put the foot down. At least you can already kiss it goodbye, but just make sure you get yourself in the 1-game wild card. But even then, it's that darn one game. You never know what can happen. And as of right now, I think they'd either play the Mariners or the A's.
The Oakland A's. Okay, A's caught them, like I said they would.
Yep. So I don't think any other team's going to push. I think it's going to be between those 2 teams.
Yeah, really, the only races in the only race in the American League is for that second wild card. Really.
Yeah. All the rest are pretty locked up, aren't they?
In the National League, I mean, all 3 divisions are wide open within like a game. Each one of them is within a game.
And you got the interesting wild card race. So it's starting to heat up, man. We're in August now. It's crunch time.
Dog days.
It's crunch time. It's got to be fun to watch coming down the stretch. You got any other MLB notes? I can't think of anything I got.
Nothing big happened.
Yeah, I got some golf to talk about, but yeah, we'll go ahead. We'll go ahead and talk some golf. This is the 4th and last major of the year. Is the 100th playing of the PGA Championship.
100th,
yeah.
1918.
Yep.
Who won the first one?
I could probably look it up. Probably like Ben Hogan, but I can look it up. It's at Belle Reve down in St. Louis. And I don't know a whole lot about the golf course, to be honest. I just know it's gonna be hot. It's gonna be really hot. I know that much. Who'd you pick? I like I said, I haven't even done a lot of research.
Give me Dustin Johnson.
That's always he is the favorite.
I picked him to win the British.
Yeah, he didn't make the cut.
No,
but
played pretty poorly.
Dustin played really good yesterday at Firestone over in Ohio. Dustin's currently the odds favorite, followed by Rory McIlroy, who played well, Justin Thomas, who got his 3rd win of the season yesterday, Brooks Koepka, Jason Day, Jordan Spieth, Justin Rose, Ricky Fowler, and John Rahm. Then it's Tommy Fleetwood and then a guy named Tiger Woods, who did not play so well this weekend. Played good Thursday and Friday, crapped his pants Saturday and Sunday at a course he's won 8 times. And that tournament, that was the last time it's going to be held in Akron, Ohio. It is moving to Memphis next year, part of their revamped new schedule. I'll release my pick here in a little bit. I know we had Aaron Lynch on a few weeks ago after the British Open. He picked Jason Duffner, who is a former PGA champion. CBS Sports came out with a list of not their picks, but a few guys you should root for as a fan. Their number 1 choice was Tiger Woods.
Gotta love the Tiger.
Their number 2 choice was Ricky Fowler. Boom. Number 3 was Jordan Spieth. Number 4, Tommy Fleetwood. Number 5, Rory McIlroy. Number 6, Justin Thomas. Number 7, Phil Mickelson. Number 8, Matt Kuchar. Number 9, Xander Schauffele. Or Tony Finau. So, pretty good list. Hard to argue with that too much. Pulling up the tee times now because I saw there was some power groups that were, let's see here. There's definitely some power groups. Let's pull it up here. Gotta love when computer's not working as you want. One group going off, notable groups, Ricky Fowler, Hideki Matsuyama, and Ian Poulter at 8:39 on Thursday. It always seems like Ricky and Hideki play together almost every tournament. It's kind of annoying. At 8:50, you got Henrik Stenson, Danny Willett, Pat Perez. Danny Willett's a former Masters champ. Henrik's a major champ of his own. Then at 9:01, you got a trio of former PGA champions and Phil Mickelson, Jason Day, and Keegan Bradley. At 9:23, here's a power group. Justin Thomas, last year's PGA champion. Rory McIlroy, he's a 2-time PGA champion, including 2014 at Valhalla, and Tiger Woods.
Nice.
At, 153, got Dustin Johnson, Bubba Watson, and Adam Scott. At 215, you got the 3 major champions of this year so far. Patrick Reed with the Masters, Brooks Koepka with the U.S. Open, and Francesco Molinari with the British Open. Interesting thing about all 3 of those guys, none of them have a equipment deal. They all play whatever they want. So if you're looking to pick a player, you should probably pick one, just bucking that trend by who doesn't have an equipment deal, but I am too lazy to look that up. I've been going through my mind all day who I think is going to win because the PGA is a tough one to sometimes you get a guy like Sean McKeel. Either his only PGA win or maybe one of 2 was the PGA Championship. You just get guys like that sometimes. David Toms, sure, he's won multiple times on tour, but his only major win, PGA Championship. Duffner's only won only major PGA Championship. Keegan Bradley's only one PGA Championship. You just get a lot of guys like that, and then you get the star-studded ones of Tiger and Rory and Phil. But besides Phil's PGA Championship, he's only got I think 4 top 10s in the PGA. He struggles in the PGA for some reason. It's not set up as hard as the other 3 majors for whatever reason. But Dustin Johnson's a good pick, but I don't want to agree with you. I really don't want to pick Rory McIlroy because I always miss that. I'm not picking Ricky Fowler because I honestly believe he will not get it done. He can't put 4 consistent rounds in a row. He always has one really bad round in there that kills him.
Maybe this will be the time then, since you're feeling different.
Maybe I'm doing that on purpose. It won't be Tiger. Won't be Justin Thomas. Jordan Spieth.
Spieth
gets his 1 major he has not won yet. This is the one he's looking for to get the career Grand Slam already at the young age of 25. Yes, I think Spieth gets it done.
Coolio.
I'm going with him. So it'll come down to his putter. If he putts well, he's got a chance. But should be fun. It's at Belle Reve in St. Louis. Starts Thursday through Sunday. And then it's FedEx Cup playoff times coming up, and then Ryder Cup this fall. So golf's winding down. Let's see. Are there anything else? Any recruiting basketball notes on the Illinois front at all? Nothing going on. I do have a few Purdue recruiting notes. Purdue made the final 6 for Trace Jackson Davis. Don't hold your breath, Purdue fans. I think there's very slim chance Purdue gets him, especially because he set his official visits and his visit dates. Purdue's last on the list, and their list is an unofficial visit. That should tell you something right there.
I mean, they're not far. He's not far from Purdue.
Bet he commits before he even goes there for a visit. I will be shocked if he's not in Candy Stripes.
Yeah.
I think he's IU's to lose. But there's other Big Ten teams in the Final 6. Michigan State, Iowa. I was surprised by that one. Wake Forest, UCLA. I feel like I'm forgetting somebody.
I couldn't help you. Can't help you.
But so I think, I think that's IU's to lose. I mean, he's right in their backyard pretty much. If Indianapolis, Purdue usually get a kid once in a while from Indy, but if they're anywhere south of Indy, it's tough to beat IU for. But Purdue did get 2 good football recruits last week. A 4-star or actually 2 4-stars. If you check a certain recruiting website, if you check a different one, it's 1 4-star and
1 4-star,
1 high 3-star.
1 4-star, 1 3.
That's fine. I'll take it. The 3-star, TJ Sheffield. I've mentioned him before on the podcast. He was actually the kid who committed to Notre Dame a couple weeks ago over Purdue, Arkansas, and Ohio State for just his scholarship to not get accepted 3 days later by Notre Dame, which schools are allowed to do that. You just don't hear about it too much. So he committed to Purdue. And then they got a defensive tackle. Steven, I really don't know how to pronounce his last name. He's from Ohio. He's got a weird last name. He actually had an offer from Alabama, but he chose Purdue over Penn State. Reasoning choosing Purdue, he felt like their staff prioritized him more than some of these other schools. So it was kind of Purdue was in the right place at the right time. I think he was ready to get his recruiting over with. So Jeff Brom's got arguably the best recruiting class I've seen since I've followed Purdue football. I mean, 03 recruiting class was pretty good, but this one's right up there, and it's not done yet. I mean, they're in on a few other high recruits: David Bell, J.J. Weaver, Isaiah Gibson, Wendell Robinson, Milton Wright, just to name a few. So they're all those guys are 4-stars. So if they can have a few more, as of right now, Purdue's recruiting class is ranked 21st in the nation, but still 4th in the Big Ten. It's kind of crazy when you can be 21st in the nation, but still 4th in your conference. But it's just amazing to see how far this program has come. To 3 years ago, they were losing recruits to the likes of Toledo and Central Michigan and MAC schools like that. I mean, that was just a little over a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. So program's come a long way. Hopefully they can keep the momentum rolling here and starting in 3 weeks from Thursday. I'm ready. Got my tickets in the mail today, so I'm all locked in and ready to go. But I don't think I have anything else. I'm sure I do. I just can't think of it right now, and I'm sure it'll hit me after we get done recording this. But I'm ready for Birdie Bogey.
Max Scherzer has 76 career strikeout games, which are the 76 career 10 strikeout games, which are the most among active pitchers. Who is second?
Active pitchers.
Yes,
second.
With 10 strikeout games. This pitcher has 63.
He's played for a while.
Yeah.
Man. 10 strikeout games. 63 of them. Justin Verlander.
He is 4th. He has 48 of them.
Okay. Clayton Kershaw.
Clayton Kershaw is 3rd. He has 59 of them. One more guess.
All right. I'm really trying to think here. I'm trying to go through teams real quick in my head. Chris Sale.
Yes.
All right.
You get a bogey.
Man.
You get a bogey.
Bogey.
Took you 3 tries.
I guess, but hey, I'm just
it was
proud
a
of
par
myself
2.
that I got them in backwards order there. So good enough. Good enough.
I'll give you a par.
Have a par, thank you.
Because we're keeping such good track of
it. Yeah, oh, geez. I'm awful. But that is Birdie Bogey, brought to you by the Noble Gnome.
And the J-Man's Book of Prediction of the Week, as always, is sponsored by Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance Agent Travis Watring.
Watring with Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance. I'm a multi-line agent specializing in life, home, renters, auto, business insurance, workers' compensation, and farm insurance. Please contact me at travis.watring@infb.com or 219-869-4561. And my business Twitter is @TTW_IFBI.
All right, J-Man, unless you have anything else, wrap us up for episode 90 of the Tan and J-Man
was
Show.
Round number, episode 90 of the Tan and J-Man Show, featuring Josh Munt, me, and Tanner Lee. Streaming on SoundCloud, iTunes, TuneIn Radio, as well as Google Play. We have a YouTube channel. Check out our website, TanandJManShow.com. Follow us on Facebook, or follow us on Twitter, @TanandJMan Show. Like us on Facebook, Tan and J-Man Show. Hope you guys have a great rest of the week, and we'll be coming at you next Monday.